The fight between the Pentagon and AI giant Anthropic is entering entirely new territory. The Department of Defense officially designated Anthropic as a supply chain risk, and that is an unprecedented level of hostility between any American tech company and the U.S. government. Anthropic is now the only American company ever to get this label, which has been historically used for companies that pose a national security threat from foreign adversaries. Recent examples include Chinese and Russian companies accused of espionage. Think of Huawei, ZTE, and Kaspersky.
The supply chain risk designation is one that is designed for foreign companies to ensure that they're not inserting malicious products that might be used for sabotage or backdoors for cyber operations into U.S. military products.
The near-term effect will be banning U.S. military use of these models, and it does require defense vendors and contractors to certify that they don't use Anthropic's technology for anything government-related. But Anthropic's investors do worry about the wider chilling effect this could have on its booming enterprise business. This is now a $380 billion company looking to go public in the next year, according to sources. Anthropic's CEO, in a statement, says his AI company has no choice but to fight in court, calling the administration's move not legally sound. Anthropic is arguing the scope of this is narrow because of the relevant statute. What's been applied here is meant to protect the U.S. government rather than punish a supplier, and that this only applies to specific government contracts, not the rest of its sprawling enterprise business. Some experts expect it to be blocked in court.
Anthropic has said it's going to sue. I expect that lawsuit to come any minute now. I actually expect that a judge will very, very quickly block the designation on a temporary basis because it's so obvious that Anthropic will probably win and it's being harmed, potentially fatally while the designation is in place.
In the meantime, Microsoft backed up Anthropic. The tech company is a major investor and said lawyers determined Anthropic's products can remain available to customers outside of the Pentagon. Amazon added to that, telling AWS customers and partners they can continue to use Claude under the same conditions and are supporting those with Department of Defense workloads as they transition to alternatives. Google also followed suit, continuing to offer Anthropic's AI technology for clients excluding defense work. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman pushed back on the supply chain designation by the government, even as these companies compete, and OpenAI jumped in to secure that government contract, a move he said was to de-escalate the situation.
I don't personally think the Pentagon should be threatening DPA against these companies. For all the differences I have with Anthropic, I mostly trust them as a company, and I think they really do care about safety, and I've been happy that they've been supporting our warfighters.
A senior Pentagon official told CNBC the military will not allow a vendor to insert itself into the chain of command by restricting the lawful use of a critical capability and put our warfighters at risk. Until now, the buzz around Anthropic, at least in tech circles, had been largely positive. Its AI models are seen as leaders in coding. It's been winning a race for enterprise customers and a lot of startups, and it's been a disruptive force on Wall Street, especially the software sector, as its models get smarter and more powerful, causing a lot of investors to rethink the value and the moat of a lot of software companies out there.
Interestingly, U.S. defense officials have publicly talked about how much they like Anthropic's AI tools, how much they value them, and they see them as pretty high performing.
Despite the ban, Anthropic is still seemingly critical to national security and the U.S. military. Sources told CNBC that the U.S. military is still using Anthropic's AI models to support its operations in Iran and was previously used in Venezuela. There is some confusion about this stance. On one hand, Anthropic's a security risk, and then at the same time, it is still crucial for our military's success.
Within the same 24-hour period that the president said that they were going to cease using Anthropic AI tools in the government, the U.S. military launched its campaign against Iran, where it's been now publicly reported the U.S. military is using Anthropic's AI tools to help support that operation. And so that's a pretty stark contrast, and it demonstrates how valuable AI tools are and how if the Pentagon and Anthropic cannot reach agreement here, it's going to be actually pretty challenging for the military to unwind this use of AI tools.
The Treasury Department is starting to unwind the use of Claude, and President Trump said Friday that the government would stop using Anthropic's models over a 6-month period. It could be difficult, though, for the military to untangle this long-standing relationship and reliance on this technology.
Anthropic was the first company to have their AI models integrated into classified military networks. And the original terms of use had these guardrails, and then the Pentagon wanted to go back and change the provisions in the contract.
In a Tuesday note on Palantir, Piper Sandler analyst wrote that Anthropic is heavily embedded in the military and the intelligence community, and that while reestablishing AI functions with a new vendor can and will happen if needed, Anthropic was a trailblazer in terms of operationalizing AI models for data-sensitive environments. Onboarding and negotiating replacement technology will take time and resources that would have otherwise been spent on growth opportunities. Throughout this drama, things have gotten personal. Administration officials have called CEO Dario Amodei a liar with a, quote, God complex, while Amodei, in a leaked memo to employees, criticized rival Sam Altman at OpenAI for what he called dictator-style praise of President Trump. Amodei later apologized in a statement. Despite the tension, Anthropic and the Pentagon are still reportedly working towards a solution, and there is a lot on the line for both parties.